Hey everybody, I'm the Bat Otter, and today we're going to be reviewing the 7th volume of Berserk Deluxe Edition. Are we going to get through the whole thing? Who knows, I'll figure it out by the end of the video. I'm skipping from volume 2 to volume 7 because I got a little bit burnt out on Berserk. I took me like 2 weeks to finish this one, and I feel like with a series like Berserk, I don't really want to be burnt out when I'm reading it. I want to have fun, I want to enjoy it. So I just kind of stopped, and in doing that, I didn't feel like going through 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 7 whenever I finished reading, just because it wouldn't have been that much fun. And I like to enjoy things whenever I do them. And this is also my favorite arc for Conviction, the latter portion, because as the story goes on, it gets packed full of so much stuff towards the latter half of this volume that it goes absolutely wild. Towards the end of this volume, all the cameos that are made, everything that's happening. So let's get right into it. For context, Guts is going to Holy Ground to find Casca before she gets burnt at a stake because he had a vision. Skull Knight said that this event is going to be a shadow of the eclipse where all the things in causality are building towards a pseudo eclipse, and that's why everybody's going to be there. And so Casca was taken in by this prostitute, Luca, who is the leader of these girls. And as I've said before, Miura is very good at conveying a character's entire story and who the character is very quickly, within pages. So whenever Luca is first introduced, she has Casca's head wrapped because she doesn't want anybody to go after her. And the character herself is one of my favorite characters from that was introduced in Conviction, just because it's one of those simple characters that is, I'm going to take care of my own people. I'm going to take care of my girls. I'm going to take care of myself, and I'm going to do whatever I can to keep my people safe. It's very admirable. She's very loyal, even whenever some of her companions aren't so loyal. And so she is a main side character throughout the rest of the arc and helps contribute to finding Casca and towards the end battle. Now this is a refuge city. These people are going through. This girl was found out and she's protecting her, and Guts is just now arriving to the city. So with that out of the way, let's get to one of my favorite parts of this story arc. So this guy here, he starts whipping them for being heretics, and out of the blue, we know that Guts is coming. His whip gets wrapped around the Dragon Slayer. He gets thrown off the horse, and there's Guts, determined to find Casca and to save her from being burned at the stake. So what this specific volume has, I think, is a big change in the series of Berserk, as you'll see going on, because up until now, Guts was never really portrayed in a heroic light. But as you'll see, his first appearance in this volume is saving these people. And while he's inadvertently saving them, he's still being portrayed in a heroic light throughout the entirety of the volume, based on the way that people like Luca see him. And as the volume goes on, Lady Farnese will start to see him as this big, imposing figure in the face of darkness. I think she even says that verbatim as it goes on, which I kind of like. A lot of people say that towards the end of Berserk, and towards where Berserk is now, it's not as dark, it's not as gritty. And I think the tone takes a major shift here, because the tone towards the end of this story and the way that Guts is being portrayed versus how he was portrayed in a lot of everything before this is very different. And Guts, his anger, all of those things are handled very differently, and his growth as a character, I feel like, takes the big tonal shift in this one because he grows and matures and his convictions change a little bit. You see what I did there? So, of course, he gets way over his head, surrounded by people as usual, and we get some good old-fashioned hacking and slashing with just excellent panels of pure raw chaos, Guts slicing through people like nothing, cutting horses' heads off. Just my favorite panels of the series. I always love these panels, the splash pages, of Guts being completely overmatching his opponents and everybody who hasn't seen him before being in complete awe. We get this new kid, they call him a monkey, and we get introduced to a whole cast of characters that was established in the previous volume. Volume 6 was a lot of setup for things that are going to be paid off in this volume. So these guys, the Holy Iron Chain Knights, think that Guts is going to be easy work because he was last time, but Unfortunately, Guts was half dead last time, so he's not going to be so easy work. We get introduced to the coward character, who thinks that her troop has been found out, so she's going to take Casca and go somewhere else. Guts gets with Luca. She's like, oh, I know the girl with the brand. They go. This guy is nervous because he's around a bunch of ladies. And we get moving to the refuge camp. We get there, Casca's gone. This girl fled, took her with her, and they're about to get abducted by a bunch of cultists, which leads in to another pretty heroic entrance by Guts. These people, the Iron Chain Knights, find out that Guts is there, and the story continues. So, there are a lot of spots that I have blacked out, and I'm going to be real cautious what I show, because there's a lot of nudity, a lot of stuff that you can't show. You can show all the hacking and slashing, you just can't show nudity. So I did black out a lot of areas with sticky notes. I can't show that. Nobody saw that, right? Nobody saw that? Yeah, we're good. So this guy finds him first. He tells Puck to go get Guts, and basically they want Casca because she's a witch, and they want to induct her into the cult, and they want to sacrifice the little girl. Not little girl. She's... I don't know how old she is. She's drawn in very suggestive manners, so I'm assuming she's of right age, but we're not going to show it anyway, just in case. So Puck goes to get Guts, and we get some really funny drawings of Puck in this arc, specifically, and a lot of very eerie, unsettling images as well. So, this leads into one of my favorite introductions of Guts in the chapter. Like I said, he's portrayed very heroically in this chapter, more so than usual, and it's in his entrances, because you know heroes traditionally make these grand entrances, last-second entrances, real cool stuff like that. This is exactly what we're going to get. So the Goatman wants to... he wants to consummate his marriage with Casca, let's say that. And everything is heating up. The Holy Iron Chain Knights get there. The people get possessed by the demons. All the while, we get this very unique entrance where it's the guards outside, you see the flash of light, and then you see this big imposing figure just to showcase how fast Guts has gotten and how almost inhuman he is in this great little turn of events. Lots of tension. Like I said, he wants to consummate his marriage with Casca and his snake. It's a snake, that's not a metaphor. But the speed, the rhythm of the panels, the way that they're illustrated, so tightly wound, really makes for this building action, rising action of Guts coming into this place to fight this pseudo-apostle. And as the marriage is going to be consummated, you see these steps here, the leap. It's awesome stuff, guys. Like, you guys need to read this. Forget what I'm saying. You guys just need to read this. And Guts cuts off his snake. Like that. So fast, so quick. And we get to our first major battle of the entire arc. Now, of course, the demon people go after Guts, and we get... he turns into a ninja, spins around. Another really great shot of action. Head spinning, body spinning. And we get the first reunition? Guts sees Casca for the first time since he went out as a black swordsman, and we get a very dramatic still of his cape flowing, the smoke on the ground, and it's white, only the two of them, so that way the focus is really there, and you can kind of get a look into what Guts is thinking in the moment. You know, real subtleties scattered throughout just to enhance the story of that little bit. And also Miura needed to take a break after drawing all that cave stuff, so it works out both ways. We get two shots of them. And last time we saw Casca, she was completely afraid of Guts, completely terrified of him. He doesn't know how she's going to be, and this is the first look that they get at each other. And you'll notice as the story goes on, she gets a little bit more warmed up to him due to events that happen. So we get this big battle between the Holy Iron Chain Knights and these monsters. Guts thinks that this guy's going to be easy work, and in a way he is, but he's not going to be so easy. He crushes him, they get into this big fight. But ultimately, Guts, using his battle experience, his new fight IQ, and his new determination to be with Casca, because that's why he came here. He said, you know what? He heard what Goto said. I want to be with Casca. I'm not going to leave her again, and she's never going to get taken from me again. So he has a new conviction, a new determination, a new mindset throughout the entire thing. So he has something different to fight for now. It's not just rage. It's more relatable. It's more mature than that simple rage. He uses that as an outlet now. So he takes that guy out. They're escaping, but he runs into Serpico. And Serpico ends up being more problems than he initially thought. He's not just some pretty boy with a saber. He's an actual trained tactician with lots of skill. Gives Guts a run for his money. As you can see, the western sun in your eyes, precarious footing, your large physique, your good hand against the wall, all these limit you, and you get this real nice panel. I know that I showcased in the first video, my first breakdown of Berserk, that the way that Miura structures the panels and the pages is very aware of how the reader is going to be approaching it. So you see this, the western sun, and you get the rhythm going down, down, down. All the while, the arm leads right into the bottom of this chasm, under the hill, the cave, whatever you want to call it, the mountain. And that leads up, all these limit you to this big dramatic shot of them on the edge of the rock wall. Little nuances like that. You see those all scattered through Berserk. You could make an entire video breaking down each individual page for all those. And this is where we get one of those shots you see of Guts all the time. He catches the sword to Serpico's shock, and he's able to hold the sword to, once again, the shock of Serpico. Things ramp up. Casca and the gang get captured, but Guts surprises him, breaks the sword, he turns into Star Platinum, tries to take him, but this guy's a formidable opponent, right? So, all in all, pretty good, pretty solid writing. I think I'm going to stop here for this video. And it gets you a little bit warmed up. It gives you a little bit of a taste for what the rest of the arc is. I know that they reintroduce the... what do you call them? The Inquisitors here later as they're storming the castle. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I think that part was pretty good, pretty solid. I know that the pace after Lost Children comes to a screeching halt, which is understandable. You have to set up a lot of the characters, you have to set up a lot of the premises, or else this volume wouldn't work with all that setup. It's just that whenever you have a story with such a breakneck pace, crazy action, investment in the characters that you have, and you suddenly shift the pace to completely new characters, establishing new settings, establishing new things, it doesn't do good things for the pace, but ultimately it pays off by the end of this volume. So yeah, that was the review. Hope you guys like it. I didn't actually review too much. I got really caught up, bottlenecked myself. But yeah, hope you guys liked it. Comment what you think about the Conviction arc as a whole. You know, whatever your thoughts are. And yeah, I'll be back with the rest of the arc. See ya.